Welcome to the Graphics Fairy. I'm Ingrid Carlsen, and today I'm going to be showing you this journal that I made using the Sea Captain's Voyage and Mermaid Cove bundles. So pack your bags as we venture on this harrowing adventure of mermaids and a strong sea captain. As I was growing up, I lived within walking distance from the ocean, and my dad grew up with it in his backyard. It will forever take up a significant part of my heart. The ocean embodies both tranquility and tempest, and as each rolling wave hits the shore, it beckons to me. It's in those moments that I can very clearly see God's infinite and majestic artistry at hand. And although I'm very far away from the sea these days, these kids reminded me of that profound affection that radiates in my heart. This is one of my favorite pieces. I actually used a glue gun to immortalize a paper flower, and I wasn't sure if it was going to work, and I had to mess with it a little bit, but I think it makes such a pretty memento on the side of a journal. And then I, of course, added some gold paint to the edge of it. The cover of the journal has a lot of texture, which I got by using a lot of different fabrics. And you can see on the left-hand side some corrugated cardboard that I distressed and then layered over a very pretty floral print that I created using some roses from the Graphics Fairy. One of the main things that I wanted to convey with this journal was the keeping of mementos or keepsakes, like a scrapbook. And so you're going to see lots of like little bits and pieces. Something else that you're going to see is brown tape throughout to bring the journal together and add cohesiveness to it. And as you can see here, I sketched out and watercolored a sailboat and then added some extra journaling underneath. I used coffee dyed, and I think this is avocado dyed paper, and there you can see some of that brown tape. I used some vintage quilt behind this, and I think it looks like something from the past that you would find in an antique store. You guys know that I love watercoloring on my antique library cards, and so I definitely had to include one of those in here. And make sure that you check out the Graphics Fairy blog post where I write about why I think you should try your hand at painting a watercolor shell. Although this style journal was a little different for me, I absolutely fell in love with it and with the story behind it. This journal tells the story of a captain in the 1900s named Sebastian Drake and his encounter with a mermaid. It was in the midst of the boundless, tumultuous sea where the shimmering waves embraced the horizon's end, where he lived. His heart danced with the rhythm of the tides, and his ship's prow sliced through the tempest waters with grace and determination. Among the countless treasures that adorned his vessel, there were none that were more precious than the tales that etched in his diary, chronicling the ethereal encounters with the enchanted mermaid. This journal showcases all of the keepsakes that Captain Drake kept along the way to memorialize and preserve his experiences. It also connects the past to the present in a very meaningful way. To add an extra touch of whimsy, I added some journal entries that the captain may have had, and to make the text look like it had weathered through the seas, I took a wet paintbrush and just dabbed it on some of the handwritten text, and it blurred it out to make it look like it was really old. One of the biggest tips that I have is that when you are working on a journal that you want to look like it's old, you want to make sure that you're distressing all of the edges and adding coffee or tea to mimic the sign of aging. If you've ever gone to an old bookstore, which I'm sure many of us have, you will notice that the pages are yellowed. And so to recreate that, you can add your own yellowing with either one of those. And as a bonus, if you pick one that has a fragrance like a creme brulee coffee, every time you flip through the pages, you'll get a beautiful aroma. And to add an extra touch of whimsy, I actually added gold foil amongst all of the pages to mimic a captain's treasure, both seen and unseen. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope that you loved the journal, but more importantly, that you were inspired to make one. A huge thank you to the Graphics Fairy for giving me this opportunity. I have enjoyed working with them and their beautiful images.